Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel, and my name is Chris. We're here once again with our Starters Order 7 Started mod save for the flats in America. Have to differentiate now because we just started up our British jump save, and yeah, it's different. It's definitely different, and I'm learning, and I'm getting some good feedback. Really do appreciate that. And yeah, we'll go for the Grand National in that one. We're going for the Kentucky Derby, really, in the Triple Crown in this one. And yeah, things are interesting. Things are really interesting right now. We've got some good horses that can kind of run and do some things. And like we know roughly, I think, what each horse is. So Small Drum is an absolute great short order horse. But not quite at that peak top level right now. And then we got an interesting one here from Cops Milan, who probably is a mile two, maybe a mile one, maybe. Um, but kind of we know roughly the distance, and we think it can win big races. And then Lamps Link again, we definitely think this is a mile two, and kind of very happy with that. And then a mile two, maybe Milan's a mile one. And then at the end of the last episode, we kind of knew that Brazingman Haig could really be a threat at distance, but we did actually manage to test them as well at a mile one, and it wasn't a mile off either. So there's like questions of, with this potential, with this stamina bar, now, uh, is this going to be someone you breed from if they've got like really good extra speed and consistency? Maybe a couple of things that this colt misses. Like that could be really interesting. But like I say, I think we got three really solid colts that could run Triple Crown, and Small Drum, who just isn't making that jump up. And so we'll kind of have to make our mind up really quickly on that. Um, we're about a couple of weeks out really from the Derby, right? So there's a couple of races we could go in Chartin, and then there's the Oaks if we don't think we've got the distance on a filly, but that would only be if Small Drum actually gained a bit of distance, but probably not to a mile two. Um, yeah, there is that one. But really, we just got to go for the Derby. And right now, I mean, yeah, this is going to be a pretty good set of horses. I think right now we're okay, right? Yeah, okay. So the thing to note this is, it's a max field of 20. There's already 20 in here. There's 104, 102, 105, and like we're above those ratings, and it does, I believe, go by rating. So we should be able to, if we wanted to put all three in, we could find a way to get all three in. Kind of want to just put one in, and I think that's Lamps Link. And if they don't win, Cops Milan in the Preakness, and then Brisingaman Haig in the Belmont. And that's kind of where I am right now. I really don't know. I really don't know that's the right thing to do. So I need to check some distances here. So Stormin is 5. Voronova's gone up probably to a mile. You're still 5. You're still 6. You've gone up. That's probably 7 furlongs, a breeding indicator. Yeah, and you won a grade 3 at 5, so probably a little shorter than a mile. Violetta, yeah, okay. You got this really interesting mix of. I was gonna say it looked like a 50-50 split for a while, but like it's 50-50 down here, and then all these are still short order, which means we're gonna be really, really tight on races. So we got a grade 3 there, and we got a grade 3 there. Yeah, I mean, so Voronova is probably a mile. Brex is more likely to be 7, and that was it, right? Okay, so maybe not even as much as I thought. I think I'm just gonna slide these two in. I'm gonna put them this way around because it's like time since their last run. So we got the 6th and we got the 15th booked out for our 2 distance horses, and there's only one for 5. That's gonna be on the 10th at Santa Anita. Okay. Then it just becomes like, who's at 5 that kind of needs a run? Stormin, not really. Could be an okay choice. Verse is pretty much filled, potentially. Violetta could, but would be better at 6. Parsons doesn't need the run and just missed out on a grade. Blackstone's already got the grade, could use another run, but that's probably not the best way of doing it. Reams has probably got the biggest to go at 5, I would say. They've also only run once, and everybody else has at least run 2 races. So I think for my 2-year-olds, that's it. We kind of got them nicely spaced out as well. So we got 6, we got the 10th, and we got the 15th. Which means we can't really get around it. Yeah, okay. So we just run at 6. We could try 5, but I just feel like we're better at 6. Now we could go to Shatin. I'm gonna book that in and keep looking. Yeah, the others are all grade 3. So I think we are gonna go to Shatin, which I don't really want to do, but I don't see a better race. And if we're gonna try and get a grade 1 win on Drom, sooner rather than later, it's got to be the Chairman Sprint. We almost went to Saudi and did spectacularly. And this just didn't go our way, but still only 3 lengths back despite being 7th. Like, that would probably be 4th or 3rd in other races. Maybe it's just it was just too good of a field that we ran against, and this will be maybe a better field, good Canadian, solid American like ourselves. We're not gonna jump up for Kentucky Derby or Preakness distance. I really don't think we will. So I think that's the no-brainer. And if that's the no-brainer, here comes the one I need to really decide on, which is cops and lamps. These are the two. I think lamps right now. But I don't know if I should go cops. I don't know if they would win. Don't know if they'd win. Oh, I'm so torn here. I'm so torn here. That's a very solid horse. That's just a quicker horse with a bad start. Oops. Um, I think I'm just gonna run out. I'm kind of gonna give Lamps the benefit of the doubt. If I feel like they can win the Derby, I've got to run them in the Derby. And I do think they've got a better shot at the Derby than Cops Milan does. Alternatively, you run them both, just see what happens. And they probably don't interfere with each other. You just got to find a second jockey for the second horse, and that'll be fine. Could run them both in the Derby and both in the Preakness. I just don't want to miss winning a derby. And if Cops could win the derby, if somehow it's the better horse and it just has a better run, that's kind of what I'm slowing down with. Like, do we just run them both? Ah, yeah, not a lot of stables get to run every year in the derby. And so, like, you'll take your chances. You don't really pick your spots. You just, anytime you've got someone that can probably run in it, you run them. And there's a bit of prestige, Okay, you don't have a Derby winner, they didn't do anything, but you could say that, your stud farm has 6 Derby runners in the last 20 years. That's a big deal. Doesn't mean much in the game, but like when you start thinking about it in real life terms, that's kind of also pushing me to put Cops Milan in the Derby. Worst case scenario is they both finish like way off the pace and they both pick up little injuries or something, especially Cops, who I think really does have a better chance at the Preakness, and then I can't run them in the Preakness. And it's just messing with me ever so slightly, trying to figure out what I can do. Okay, so I got Burrell on cops in the Preakness right now. Still have time to change this around and even pull cops out of the Preakness if Lamps Link wins the Derby. I'm going to put Calvin on Lamps for the Derby and Diego on cops for the Derby, and then switch the jockeys on the. I probably should just keep them the same, right? I should just keep them the same. I shouldn't flip them. But I do think it's tough to look past how good Calvin is, and as good as Diego is. My favourite for each race should have the best jockey, and that is Calvin on Cops for the Preakness and on Lamps for the Derby. I think. I think. Yeah. I can overthink this at times. Says, where's Saints? You and you know. Ooh. What are you? 8-3. It's just not here, is he? Okay. Now what do I do? Now what do I do? Look at the best career jockeys. Oh no, let's just look at them in order. So, I mean, yeah, you're good. I don't know if dead weight is a thing in this game, but it might be. I think really I want to look at people at least 8 and above to figure out where I am. And okay, Syntron at 8. Angel Suarez is actually really good, and I know I saw them. I know I saw them. So let's get Cops, Derby, Angel, or Angel Suarez. Yeah, yeah, okay, that's fine. Uh, and he's not available for that one anyway. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I think I'm gonna save, and I'm gonna save twice, so I can't go back past this point. This is kind of where we're starting from. We've got everything booked. And in my mind, the more I save, the more I kind of like lock into these decisions without changing them. Because boy, I still want to change decisions, and I shouldn't. I think we're good. Two runners right now going into the Preakness. That might change depending if one of those two in the Derby wins. And then we just put Calvin on the winner. We'll withdraw the other one, and that's fine. Have your say in the comment section down below. Number one, who would you run? How many would you run in the Derby? How many would you run in the Preakness? Who would they be? How would you sort out the jockeys? And most importantly, how insane do you think I am? Yes, I mean, feeling a little insane out here. Not gonna lie. Oh boy. Ah, yeah, just going back and forth on decisions. Okay. Don't even need to look at auctions. Don't care. Don't care. I'm worried about an injury. Oh my god, I shouldn't have said anything. At least it's Drom. Up to 8 weeks. Up to 8 weeks. Up to 8 weeks. Up to 8 weeks. We'll do a wind up while we're there, because it's a little bit of money doesn't really hurt the horse, and god damn. Yeah. I'm also tempted to put hay again. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Should I do it? Maybe I should. Maybe I should. Don't look at the auctions. Muscle memory, but don't look at the auctions. Okay. If I save twice, again, I can't get back to this. Even if I want to try and like cheat and just see what would have happened, like I just don't need that. I'm locking in my injury. I'm locking in the two runners. I so want to like debug this and test this and run one and then reload and run the other, and then reload and run both, and maybe run Brisingham and Hayes, and like on its own, and then a combination of the two and all three together, and just like really debug what the best scenario is, so I can use that moving forward in the future. So I've got to kind of lock it away by saving a few times, just to help with that. And we live and die by our decisions. It's worked out really well for us once before in Krabby's down. It's worked out really badly for us so many other times. But like that's the beauty of the save. It's not really about winning. It's about the journey. It's about the gradual improvement, and it's about just the stories that come out of it. So yeah, Drom will fight another day. We are going to Churchill Downs. I hate how good this field is. I hate how many names I know. I almost clicked skip there, which I would have gone back and reloaded for that. So let's get past a few of these races and then slow down. I know it's like the last race in Kentucky and there's a lot there. Okay, okay. Woo. So yeah, like who do we know? Relentless Holmes, not an amazing horse, but like a really good late challenger. Probably going to be fighting, maybe not for the win, but you know, third to fifth maybe. And our plate's got great form. We've only seen a couple of times. Didn't do a ton, but like is a threat, is the favourite for this race. You've got to respect that. Raindrop Briscoe, we know, again, not too bad. Terramon, we know, probably not a threat. Brampo, we know, again, probably not a threat. Blue Crop Grange, like the Florida Derby winner, and nearly everyone from the race is in there. And like Lamps got beaten quite comfortably by them. And so they could definitely be a worry, and they are unbeaten this season. So they didn't win their maiden, but then they won a Grade 3 7 furlong. They won a Robert B. Lewis over a mile, another Grade 3 there. Then they won the Florida Derby, and they're in for both the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. Got to respect them. Henry Open, we also know, pretty decent season for them. Then Vulcan Skipton, McCool Contain, we don't know. Arizona Dana, we don't really know. Bailini Cum Tudu, 100% do know. Interesting though that they've been up and down distances, done okay moving up from a mile to a mile one. You know, they got second, third, second in like two grade twos and two grade ones. Then they're coming up to a mile two before dropping down again to a mile and seven, which to me would say they probably like a mile to a mile one. So why are they running the Derby and not the Preakness? Probably prestige. something like that, maybe. I don't know, but very good. And then the one I'm really worried about, but is blown up a little bit, which we love to see a competitor, the top rated horse, Asina Fippens. They're already booked in for all three, and probably should be. This is a darn fine horse. 4 grade 1s, including the Kentucky Oaks, just a few days ago. Yeah. Okay. I don't. I know these names. I don't really know if we've raced against them much or if they just popped up elsewhere. Nothing really to worry about at the bottom end. But yeah, so if everybody ran without too much issue, just pure quality, everybody has a sort of decent race. Fippens, Come To Do, Open, Grange, Hype. Well, Hype and Distinct, you're probably not. Briscoe could be a threat. Pilate could be a threat. And Holmes could be a threat. That's 7 horses with 2 others that I know decently well. Yeah. That's what makes this really tough. I think there's a plenty of good horses in this. And it is the Kentucky Derby. There should be. But yeah, we've got some absolutely crazy horses. So we're going to prefer the center because that is where the best ground is. I just want to make sure, yeah, you want a fast track, so you want good ground, and you want a fast track too. Okay, so yeah, we're not going to get the inside. We're not going to go around the outside. Hopefully, we're just going to try and go in the middle. I'm so nervous on this one. I am so nervous on this one. But we're running 2 here at Churchill Downs. In the Bluegrass Country Mile 2, Class 1, Grade 1s for 3-year-olds on dirt. The legendary Kentucky Derby. Some great horses in this field. And we have 2. We're okay away on the far side and the near side. Looks like Lamps towards the rear here on the outside, and Cops is on the inside right now in that little chasing pack. So, don't normally see Lamps this far back. Cops, there's so many horses round him, not a lot of clear ground to go, but there we go. We are getting up. I think we're getting pushed back a little bit there, but now we're up to give to the inside. 2.5 from home, and oh my god, like the entire field is there. The entire field is gonna go just completely crazy. Lamps just doesn't have a run. Cops is gonna probably finish top 5. 4th, 3rd. Just got pushed out of 3rd by Blue Crop. Oh. 4th and 5th by a head and a short head. Less than 1.5 lengths back from the Kentucky Derby winner. And we did name a bunch of these horses that ran really well. But if you asked me to place bets on who was going to win, in fact, the top 3, I might have put Relentless Holmes in 3rd. Blue Crop, what a run. Stumbled to start, short of room, over 1 furlong from home, and was just under a length back. Relentless Holmes, I said we're probably in the 3 to 5 range, a very good finisher. Did well, only just headed out. Henry Open winning, I did not see. I did not see that happening. Yeah, Fippens just wasn't in this. Maybe it's a different race for them if they were. If they didn't blow up, maybe that changes everything if they have a good run. Kumturu, again, I want to say a little lower than I would have thought, but again, we're still at a mile. Sorry, a mile. We're still at like 1.5 lengths. Fourth and fifth in the derby. I think Cops got blocked off a little early on the inside. Lamps is always at the back. I told them both to run in the center. Neither one could because one was on the inside, one was on the outside. Just too large of a field to really do anything about that. It's a little bit surprising, but yeah, we just picked up fourth and fifth place, prize money places in the derby with two horses, and we couldn't win, but that's kind of what it is. Lamps perfectly at a mile two. Cops Milan suited well. Would be better probably in the Preakness, and that's gonna be the next race. That is gonna be the next race. Oh my god, what do you think about that race? I feel like I shouldn't have put the center instruction on them in that kind of field. They were just going to run where they were going to run. I don't know if the jockey would then try to go to the center and wouldn't be able to. I don't know if that was reflected, but just like knocked them down a little bit. Maybe they did get blocked off a little bit, especially Cops. I'm starting to think Cops under 1.5 back. It's like 1.2 back. So for each of those two things, like getting blocked off, usually is about a half a length to a length, and if they did try to go to the center and it kind of slowed them down a little bit, that might be another quarter of a length, half a length. You're starting to think then maybe did we block them off from winning? Who knows? Who knows? Just a mad race, and just not the winner I thought. We ran well, but we didn't really look like we were going to win those. I think Cops ran really well. Gives me a lot of hope, actually, Cops in the Preakness, to be fair. So there is that. But yeah, let me know what you think of the derby there and how I booked it and what you would have done differently. Hindsight 2020 and all that, but it doesn't really matter. You let me know. Oh, what an over. So slow at the gates, but right to the front. And yeah, we should win this, I feel. I think we're the best horse in this field. So we'll kind of see. But it's a very interesting 2-year-old here as well. The injury early on, not running up to speed early, and then coming through with a plum later on. Looks like we're distancing out here as well. We're kind of doing good. There's a runner from deep coming in, but nowhere near close enough. Solid. It's a base grade 3, but yeah, she ran 7 really really well, and I'm glad. I'm glad. So we got a grade 3. We've almost got her up to 100 rating. There's still more potential to realize, and I think my issue now is that probably that's not going to happen. I don't think there's enough races or enough times for them to pick up that potential. So a little bit of an issue there. Have to find some races early on in the 3-year-old season, if that's the case, to try and fill up that bar. Otherwise, they're not going to do much at 3. And we just got another little grade 3 here, basic grade 3. This time, 5-year-olds. Reams Philip. And again, a poor start. But again, I would expect us to go to the front of the field, and we do, although for breasts, spot wanted on the outside. Looks like Nina up in there, and then, okay, Hamza and Rockstar going hard for this. We're in solid position. We need to kick on over the final half of furlong if we really want this. And we are going to. Is it going to be enough? It is not. We're going to get held off by Hamza. Very nice setup phase there, like 2 furlongs to the final furlong. And, yeah, just had enough. We ran on. Didn't have the pace. Not certain the trip suited. So either we're a 6 furlong or we just jumped. It's just a 6 furlong. Okay, that's kind of what we thought. Because we won 6 maiden, but like there wasn't a 6 furlong to run. Still a very good run. Not too bad. Okay. I'll take it. And then the other 2-year-old is going to be Plateau Brex. Yeah, top rated, unbeaten, not really tested. Already has a grade 3 out of 5 furlong. Now we're moving up to 7, which again should be the right distance. Pretty good horse. Not quite maxed out, but this might do it. If it's a good run, this might do it. And then, yeah, probably putting them in the breeding barn. So hopefully this can go well. Under the night lights, 7 furlong grade 3 for the 2-year-olds on dirt. And they're off. Not a bad start. And just going towards the front. Going to stalk behind Sour Bird. Alongside Firecrest Pistolet and what's that? Spahi Dillon. Interesting names. Monte Surprise is in there as well. Coming up now on the outside, 2 from home. Final 1.5, rounding the turn then. On to the home stretch. The furlong marker is there as we kick on past Sour Bird, and Plateau Brex is going to drive for the line. Monty Sunrise in third, not mounting a challenge. Sefam Signy as well up. Decent runs for them, but nobody had any challenge for Plateau Brex. And yeah, you could see that. You could 100% see that. Maxed out potential. Very, very good runs. 8 lengths in the maiden. Only 2 at 5 furlong. But then we jump up to 7 furlong, and again it's 6 furlongs there. We've run soft and standard and obliterated. And on a good track, which is what we prefer, it was only a couple of lengths different. So maybe that 5 furlong was a touch short on us. We ran as well cool and normally. I just don't have a lot of questions for this horse. Like, can they get distance for next year? That's it. What's their potential bar going to jump to next year? If it's 90 or above, and they can run a mile 1, mile 2, then Derby and Preakness, Brex is kind of a lock. So, just very, very happy with that 2-year-old season. Not going to get too kind of carried away or think too much about what might be. But that is a fantastic run on the eve of the Preakness. And I'm going to save right here as well for now. And then I don't think I want to run lamps or cops in the Belmont. So I think we're just going to mark Brisingham and Haig in there. And yeah, okay. Sometimes they win the derby and they don't get booked. I'm upset when that happens. But yeah, Drysdale is getting Henri open, ready, and giving them the chance to win a Triple Crown. Very, very interesting. It didn't run the Florida Derby very well. Run the Arkansas well. Run the Santa Anita well. Yeah. Okay. Very decent. Uh, yeah, I think I just kind of ignore the 2 euros for right now. So we got this today. Should be coming up soon. Starting to see these Pimlico races. And there we go. A much shorter field. Um, a much shorter field. Everybody ran in the Derby apart from, I want to say, Impact Steps. So, yeah. Okay. So Henri won it. Holmes was second. Grange was third. We were 4-5. Antar was 6. Briscoe was 9. Fippens blew up and wasn't in it. No, it hurts to see because Henri is a little wound up, and so is Blue Crop. First and third, they might not get into the top 3 of this Preakness on that form. And the fact that perhaps, maybe, Henri's chance at a Triple Crown dies here because they got wound up, that's a little, it's a little sad for me. But I also do feel like Cops Milan might just be like a real tough runner at this distance. So what Fippens does now that they're not wound up, I don't know. And what Henri does now that they are blown up a little, I don't know. But we're going to go side by side. We're going to stalk Raintrap Roscoe and come back to Fippens and Impact Steps, who, of course, did not run in those purple silks ahead of the black silk of Henri Open, the Kentucky Derby winner. True side by side, gearing up for the turn. Cops is getting ready. Lamps might get blocked off a little bit here. Round the bend, 2 to go, down to 1.5. Fippens, the quality horse I always thought would be a big issue, is there, kicking on. We're all kicking on. The field is kicking on. Lamps probably doesn't have the speed for this. Cops is there with Fippens, but is dropping off. Lamps and Cops side by side. Relentless Holmes right there. Oh my God, I think Lamps might have snuck it. The 1 mile 2 furlong horse might just have short-headed on mile 1 in the Preakness. No, Cops got up. But wow, that would have been interesting because it was the other way around where Cops just short-headed Lamps in the Derby, which was Lamps' distance. And I thought there maybe Cops was going to suffer the same fate in its distance, but no. Good win by Fippens. If they didn't blow up in the Kentucky Derby, I have a feeling they would be headed to the Belmont for the biggest chance going. So if they run the Belmont without blowing up, then that could have easily been a Triple Crown winner. And if Henry Open runs the Belmont and wins, then you look at the Preakness and then blowing up and you think, that could be a potential Triple Crown that's blown up. But yeah, Lamps, 5th to 3rd in the Preakness, Cops, 4th to 2nd in the Preakness. That is pretty good going. Pretty good going indeed. Yeah. And again, like, we know our distances. This wasn't quite long enough. This was perfect. Send them both to the Belmont, says the jockeys. I don't think I will. I don't think I will. So we do have 5 furlongs left to go. Ascot. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, okay. 5 furlongs at Ascot. Does anybody really have the chops to go run that? Parsons? Maybe we're sure Reams is probably a 6, right? That might be Parsons. That might be Parsons. That's going to be a really tough race. And we got a grade 2 and then another grade 2 at Ascot. I'm sure that is Violetta. I'm sure that is Violetta. Maybe that is Stormin. And then I mean, Verse is just not really one for you to run. You're kind of the one I need to run because you haven't run in a couple of months. Interesting. I do have a 6 for fillies at Ascot there. And that might suit Reams a little bit. That's not bad, right? That's not too bad. Okay, so Journeyman is... Journeyman's what? Either 7 or a mile. Okay, so we haven't got any for you, and we haven't got any for you. That's fine. So we haven't got any races there. Not bad. Not too bad. Let us go then and skip on to this next race. And we should be coming close now to having Drom back. Another 3 weeks. Okay, so by the time we're at the end of these runs, Drom might be able to go. And like everyone else is still kind of see? That's why I check distances sometimes. Storming can't run that. Stormin cannot run that. Vora just jumps again all the way, probably up to a breathing indicator of a mile 1. I mean, maybe it's just Blackstone Forges. I don't feel like we've really got another runner for that one. Oh, I don't feel amazing about that. We've already got a grade 2 on them. I don't feel amazing. I kind of wanted someone else to run it, but we don't have options, and sadly, people are gaining distance just before the races, which makes it more difficult to book. But can't complain too much. Distance is increasing is what we want. We want to get to that mile 2 kind of position as well as we can. So we're going to settle back. Hector Sweet, Hor Piccola, Seoul Migration, and Diamond Head Toy Box. There's Sound by Chalk falling back into the pack. Isabella Rascal behind Terra Dorite and Mutal Sassy. Hector's pulls up. But here we go. Piccola and ourselves driving now half a furlong from home. Really good run down this home stretch. Well, leaving them behind. That's the rest of the money winners. 2 through 5. Piccola, Sassy, Rascal, and Delight. Very close together, within a couple of lengths of each other. And we just win. And win well, but we kind of knew that we were going to. I mean, we won at 6 on a maiden by 5 legs. Oh, I thought the game crashed then. That lagged like hell. We moved down to 5 furlongs. We win by 3/4 of length in a grade 2. Now we move up and win by over 1.5 lengths at a grade 2 at 6 again. I do expect more distance out of this horse. Sadly, that wasn't enough to boost our potential up. So a good run, but I'm not really sure what we can expect. So we'll have to see. And we're going straight into Belmont Park for the Belmont. And the favorite. Oh boy, the favorite is Brasingham and Hague. Okay. Okay. Fippens and Henri. Henri is really blowing up again. That's a shame. That's a shame. Kind of played themselves out of the Preakness. Probably going to play themselves out the Belmont. Fippens. It's just distance. I don't know if any of these are distance horses. I don't know if Fippens can get distance. But I do think, again, that's just the best horse in the field. And so it's us and them, basically. That's kind of how I see this. Holmes might, if they've got some distance, might come up at the end. Blue Crop, Henri, depending on how they run, could be somewhere in the mix, maybe. It's not a bad start on the outside. And we are going to go up towards this chasing pack. We're alongside Henri and Fippens, with Tara and Orwellian stage behind. Maljuma Flight, who leads us out. And has in here, of course, Arizona, Bobsos, Blue Crop down near the back of the field with Relentless Homes as well, and Divi Boro 2 on the back stretch. Coming now round this long, sweeping left-hand turn. Lots of horses getting in position. We just hold firm for now. People putting in effort. Here comes Bobson Witch on the outside. We are right in the mix, it looks like. Few horses going early. Down to 1.5. Majamar Flight is going to fall back. Bobasok Witch maybe, just maybe, stealing this one. But here comes Underhard Plate, the favorite for the Kentucky Derby. Couldn't quite get anything in that race. Gets up on the outside, closes home. Blue Crop Grange, nice run there as well towards the end of that race. As Barbasux did so well, but probably just a little too far as they fall off back into third place. And we did well. We did well. 1.5 back. Very good. Very solid. And yeah, it's kind of where I thought we would end up. We'd end up top three. If we won, it would be by a very small margin. If we lost, it wouldn't be by a big margin. Cops ran the Preakness in the exact same way. That's kind of the level I felt they could be. So them and Haig didn't surprise me at all. I just think there were so many good horses in the Derby that were on distance in the Derby. And Fibbins just was distressed in 2 out of 3, but won the other one. So we don't know. We didn't get the full field. I don't think that we performed as well. I think Lamps not being able to really challenge for the Derby is probably the one that's underperformed a little bit. And then, yeah, Haig strove a pace. So that means maybe we're a mile, 3? Maybe we're higher than that. Yeah, we're higher than that. Oh my God. We're probably a mile 6 is where Brisingamen Haig would be. Ballpark there. The Queen's Viz at Ascot on the 18th. That could be fun. I know that there are some big races that are mile 6. I just don't think we are gonna have anyone available. So I wonder if we've got anyone on this schedule at a mile 6. Yeah, we got the Irish Ledger at mile 6 there in September. Is that the only one we've got? Yeah, we don't have Australian races in, which would be more distance. And I'm looking for a couple other foreign races at a mile 6. I don't know when they'd be on the schedule because they probably won't be in the right place. But yeah, okay. So they don't seem to be there. So yeah, I know I think the Arc de Triomphe is 1-4. And then there's a couple other French races I want to say at a mile 6. I might be wrong. Pretty decent ones. And maybe it's the Pegasus World Cup. There's 1 or 2. I said Japan, there's a mile 6. I can't remember exactly, but I know there's 3 or 4, and they don't seem to be on this schedule, so we can't race them. But the Irish St. Ledger, I think it was, at a mile 6 in September, that could be for Singerman Higgs to run, and shouldn't be surprised is on the breeding indicator, and I think we ran really well at a mile 1 and a mile 4, despite being so far off distance. I'm very, very happy with that, and yeah, superb potential, great cruising burst, great distance. I do wonder if we bred Haig with small drum and we bring those bloodlines in together. Like, what would that look like? What would that look like? We'd be a mile 6 and 6 furlongs, basically. So that's, what's that? That's 2-4. That puts us at a mile 2. So the distances match up the potentials match up. We keep the cruising burst. We probably keep the extra speed, same ballpark. Maybe we gain consistency. We'll have a bit of adaptability because one's 40, one's 50. That might be a very, very nice pairing. But yeah, we are going to leave things right there for the moment. We've got some races booked now, including Haig, to have his mile 6 race. But yeah, have your say in the comment section. What do you think about those Triple Crown races? The 5th and 4th place in the Derby, a little low for me. A little disappointing, especially considering the top 3 were horses I feel were at a level with or better than, and I kind of was hoping for more on Lamps Link, but not bad running indeed. That that was okay. And then in the Preakness, the 2nd and the 3rd, Cops just not getting up. And the 1-star quality horse I felt was in the Triple Crown field beat us in that one, so I don't feel bad about that at all. I feel pretty dang comfortable and happy with that run, where I would have expected us to be, if I'm being honest. And then Brisingamen Haig in the Belmont, again, just, you know, not quite getting up, but kind of where I thought we'd be competing. I thought we'd compete in all 3, Derby, Preakness, and Belmont. I feel we did in the Preakness and the Belmont, and then a little bit off in the Derby, which is why I kind of feel a little let down by that one. So let me know what you guys think. As I say, comment section down below. Have your say. Anything I missed, anything I did wrong, please do let me know. And yeah, slightly disappointed not to pick up a win in those 3. But I still think we ran quite well, and it does show where we're at right now. We kind of had a massive outlier with Krabbies, having to rescale our expectations and just slowly start working back up. And as well, having better fields. We're running as better horses year on year. So even though we're getting better, are we closing that gap? I don't know. But I do feel the Triple Crown winner in the next 1 or 2 years, there might be one of these 2-year-olds that is ready to do that. Maybe even Farges, just the way they're running early. If they can get some distance, I feel kind of promising. Brex, again, they could be in the mix. So a couple of horses like this, we're already seeing halfway through their 2-year-old season. We're seeing the signs of quality that could lead to big things in the future. So yeah, have your say on that as well. Like and subscribe while you're there. I really do appreciate you being along for the journey. And I will see you next time. Until then, take care, stay safe, and all the best in your Triple Crown, whatever country that you might be going after. I'll see you later.